how to pass your learner's license test the first time you try it out. This is obviously 1,000 ways to kill a cow or a cat. I don't know what the hell that is. I'm only wearing these for the emphasis of what I'm doing.
Smile until I look away, but I've known you too long. It hurts to watch your blue eyes fade.
Hi everybody, welcome to this video. My name is Lisa. If you are new here, do subscribe, like this video, and turn on your post notifications. So I know you saw by the title of this video that today we're going to be talking about how to pass your learner's license test the first time you try it out. I'm going to be giving you all the tips and tricks that you're going to need to ensure that you pass this test and to ensure that booking, writing, and doing the whole test is going to be a breeze for you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. The first thing is, why am I making this video and why is it important for you to have your learner's license? Number one, I already did my learners and I passed, so obviously I have a little bit of information to be able to give you this kind of advice. Secondly, we all need a license at some point, and you can't get your license without your learners. So you need to first get your learners and then get your license and then be able to drive. Now with your learners, you can definitely drive as long as there's someone next to you who has a license. Then you'll be able to drive on the road if you have your learners. Another thing is that if you're going to be applying for jobs and if you're going to be, trying to get work here and there, some companies do require that you have a valid license. And in order for you to be able to drive, you need your learners and then get your license and then be able to, you know what I mean? Exactly. So it's very important that you do get your learners and your license. Another thing is that if you are younger, aka 18, 19, 20, it's very handy for you to get your learners and your license at that age, because by the time you start working, aka maybe around 24, 25, you already have about 4 to 5 to 6 years of driving experience. So when you buy a car, what's gonna happen is that the insurance company is going to evaluate how long you've been driving, and if they see that you've been driving for a long time, aka maybe 5-6 years, the amount of money you're gonna pay for insurance is gonna become lowered, because you are a low risk driver, because you're not a brand new driver in comparison to somebody who has only 1 or even a few months of driving experience. It's very good that you're getting your learners and your license at this age, and it's going to come in handy as you grow up. Now we're going to be getting into how you can do your learners. Oh, I have notes written down here, so I'm going to be looking down every now and then. So the different ways in which you can get your learners is that, one, you can go to a driving school. Now if you go to a driving school, it's going to be more expensive, but it's still going to be worth it. My cousin went to driving school and he managed to get his learners through that. The other way in which you can get your learners is by doing it yourself, aka booking yourself at the traffic department and doing everything yourself basically. If you feel more comfortable doing it yourself, and also it's much cheaper to do it yourself, then go ahead and do it. But if you feel like you're going to need the help of someone, definitely head over to a driving school and have them help you and teach you and all of the good stuff. Next up is where you can do your learner's license. So this one is a bit tricky, and the reason that is because depending on where you are in the world, aka if you're in a capital city or in a town or in a village, or depending on where you are, right, there's different ways in which you can take the test. So number one, you can take the computerized test, which is where you do everything on a computer. And that one, I'll explain why I don't prefer it, but anyway, we'll get into that. Or you can find where they write with like pen and paper, not pen, pencil and paper. I definitely don't recommend the computer test, and I say this because the computer test is very Englishy. So the reason why I don't suggest the computerized one is because that one, you need, like I said, you need to know your English well, because the difference between question A and question B could be like, you must keep left and pass right. And then the other question says you must keep left and pass right only. So when you look at that question, the difference between question A and B is only, and you're not really sure which is which, and that may confuse you, and that may lead to you getting one less mark. And the other one is maybe the difference could be the use of the word must and should or may, or whereby they say you may drive on the yellow line provided ABC, you must drive on the yellow line provided ABC, or you should drive on the yellow line provided ABC. And that may be a bit confusing. So the English there with the computerized test is the one thing that I definitely don't suggest, because it does get a bit tricky. So with the book test, it's still the same as they used to do back in the days. So if you have like, if you get lucky and you get someone with like the book, like the A and B and C book, where you are able to do the entire test, right, you may find that the test that you're going to write with the book test is one of the tests that you practice, right? And if you practice all of them, probably one or most of the questions that you did or you practiced, you're gonna find them in the book learners test. So that's why I definitely recommend the book learners test. So depending on where they are testing you, you should definitely look on how they are testing you. I also forgot to mention that the A and B and C book can also be found within the K53 app that I'm going to mention as the video progresses. I say this to say the A, B, and C book was taken and replicated into the K53 app, and that is how you'll be able to find it. So that's one thing that I also forgot to mention as the video goes. Or obviously the book and the computer. So next up, I'm going to get into the process of booking your learners. So the process of booking your learners is in 3 different steps. I also forgot to mention that this process is how it was after lockdown. It might have been different prior to that, but this is how it was when I went. And also it might be different depending on what province you're in. I'm in Limpopo, so this is how it was here. The first step, you need to go to the traffic department and collect a form. I also forgot to mention that that LL1 form that you're going to receive is going to have the date at which you should come and book. I think it's called an LL1 form. I'm not 100% sure. So that form, you're going to go there. You must go there early in the morning, around 6, 7, and you must get that LL1 form. I say that because there's only a few forms that are handed out to the security guards every day, and then they give it to the security guards and say, hey, let's say there's 50 that are handed out. So if you go there soon enough, you're going to be able to get the form, and then once you get it, you go back home and then you go and fill it, right? And then when you go back the second time to go and actually book, then this is where you're going to need more things. So you're going to need your LL1 form, and then you're also going to need a booking fee. So the booking fee, depending on what province you're in, can range between 120 to 160. So I booked mine for, I think it was 159. So that's how much it costed me to book my learners. And also, another thing that I forgot to mention, you guys, when it comes to filling in that LL1 form, you're going to need to pick the code of the vehicle which you want to write the test for. So if you want the motorcycle, it's going to be code 1. If you want the light vehicle, it's going to be code 2. And if you want the heavy motor vehicle, it's going to be code 3. So please pick the one that you need to write for. You're going to need a copy of your ID. And then you're going to need those small black and white photos. If you're lucky, wherever you're testing or wherever the testing station, you can find someone who takes those pictures for like 10 Rand or 20 Rand. And yeah, you can definitely do that. So now the next step is writing your learner's test, which is what's gonna happen is that you're going to collect the LL1 form, fill it in, get the documents you need, submit it, and book, right? So after you book, they're going to give you a white paper that has a date of when you must come and write your test. So depending on where you are, you could get a date within a week, you can get a date within 2 weeks, you can get a date within 3 weeks. Now I got a date within 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks. So that's how long it took me between my booking date and the date I wrote my learner's test. So it's gonna depend on how many people, it's gonna depend generally, okay? Tips or tricks of writing the test, or studying for the test, I should say. So the first thing you're going to need the K53 book, and this is what I suggest to ensure that you get the maximum amount of information that you need. To ensure that you pass, right? You must go through the book. You don't have to study the book like all of it, but you need to go through all of it. So by that I mean, I'm not saying you must make notes and whatnot, and don't do that. Just read through the entire book, read all the rules of the road, read all the signs, and read all the controls of the car. So I highly suggest that you go through the entire K53 book, okay? Read it and read the questions and answers that are in the book as well. Go through all of that stuff. I swear to God, if you literally go through everything, you will be just about at the brink of passing. And then after that, you are definitely going to need the K53 app, or the K53 South Africa app. That's the one that I use. And then you can also get the K53 Top Score Practice Test. That one is also gonna come in handy for you, where you're going to test yourself. These are the 3 different apps that I highly recommend anyone who wants to do their learners should do. In the K53 app, there's also a section where you can study, just in case you don't have the K53 book. But like I said, I recommend the K53 book. And I think I'm not really sure how much it is. I'll insert the price somewhere in the screen. Something that I forget to mention is that when you're booking your learner's test, right, they're going to do you an eye test, right? And if you do the eye test and you realize that you can't see, I'm joking, but if you do the eye test and you realize that you can't see, or that you use glasses, you're going to need your glasses to do the test. So you need to wear your glasses while you do the test, right? If you're I'm only wearing these for the emphasis of what I'm doing. So I say this because I failed my eye test, and with that being said, having failed my eye test, I was required to go to a optometrist and obtain I don't know what it's called, but it's a traffic license paper that you take with you to the traffic department when you're booking. I did the eye test, I couldn't see shit, so I ended up having to leave the traffic department and go to an optometrist to get that eye test paper that shows that I have some sort of eyesight. I can still see to a certain extent. So with that being said, that thing can, depending on where you are, I think I went to Torga and they charged me, I think it was 50 rand. Some places can charge you 100, but it costs you about 50 rand to be able to do an eye test. So if you can only see up to, like maybe you can't see far like me, you definitely should, before you go to the traffic department, before you book, you should go get that paper. You should do an eye test, get that paper, and have that paper with you with all the documents that you're gonna need the day you're gonna book, right? What you need to write the test. What you're gonna need to write the test. So now let me get into what the test looks like. So the test consists of 3 different parts. The first part of the test is the rules of the road, and that is out of 30. So there's 30 marks that are available, and you need to get 22 in order to pass. And then the other part of the test is going to be the signs of the road. That part is going to be out of 30 marks, and you're going to need 23 out of 30 in order for you to pass. And also the other part is going to be the controls of the car, and that one is going to be 8 marks. You need to get 6 out of 8 in order for you to pass. Now you need to make sure that you study to the extent where you're able to do those tests that I recommended for you in the learners app. the K53 app, if you see you can get more than if you can get at least 28 for the 30 and 30 marks, that's good. If you need 8 out of 8 for the controls, because that's gonna ensure that you're gonna pass, right? So the reason why this is important is because if you miss one mark, let's say you need to get, let's say for the rules of the road you need 22 and you get 21, and then the rest of them you pass, you're still gonna fail your learners, and we don't want that, do we don't. So I really recommend that you study. Please don't take my advice lightly, because I swear to God, passing the first time is like the best feeling ever, because it's something that you want to do and get over and done with, so that you can head over to getting your driver's license. You know what I mean? So I really hope you guys take this advice and do what you need to do with it. The day you're gonna write the test, on the day that you book your test, they are going to give you a paper. The day you book, they're gonna give you a paper, and it's gonna have on it, and then you're gonna need that paper, and I'm not 100% sure what you're gonna need, but just bring your ID, and you need those small photos. You remember the small photos, the small ID photos that you needed? You're gonna need those on the day that you write the test, because once you get your learners, they're going to need to take that photo and attach it to your learner's license that you get. You know what I mean? You're going to go in with the information, with the documents that you have that I mentioned, and you're going to write your test, and once you've passed, you're gonna feel good. I swear to God, you're gonna feel good. It's gonna feel freaking amazing. Okay, so yeah, once you pass, they're going to say you must go back into the office, and you're going to wait in line, and then they're going to issue your learner's license. You're gonna get it immediately. Now, with that being said, you're also gonna need about a issuing fee. It's called an issuing fee. There's a booking fee, and then there's an issuing fee. Now, this is how much you need to pay in order for them to issue your learner's license to you. That can cost around 50. I paid 55. Yeah, I think I paid 55 rand or 57, I'm not sure, depending on what province you're in. It's all gonna be different, right? So me personally, like I said, I think I paid 57, and so overall it's gonna cost you plus minus 250 to 300 in order for you to do your learner's license. Okay, I think I gave you all the information. You're also gonna need your finger to be proper, so that they can do your fingerprint, so that you can have your fingerprint on your learner's license once you get it, because like I said, it's gonna be a freaking good feeling once you get it, right? And yeah, so I think this is all the information that I have so far. I'd like to say, if you watch this video and you have if you hear that I have some missing parts of the video, or there's things that I missed throughout the video, you let me know in the comments what I missed. And also I need some constructive criticism. Okay, let me know how you feel about the video, and if you go ahead and do your learners and eventually get your license, and you based on the advice that I gave you, please don't be shy to comment down below that you used this advice to be able to get your learners. And also, yeah, I think that's just about it for the learners test. I literally went above and beyond to make this video, and I hope you guys find this to be helpful, and if it is, do let me know that it was helpful. And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you very much. I can't believe we're at the end. Thank you very much for tuning in so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Like I said, if you are new here and you like the information, subscribe, give this video a like, and also turn on your post notifications, so that my next video, when I upload, you're gonna be the first to know. Okay, thank you very much for coming through, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
All I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. 'Cause all I want